Oh,
Everyone joining in.
what do you guys know about the Read AI meeting notes? I let them in. Did somebody request? Do you have to request them? Anyway,
I don't
somebody
know.
making some meeting notes
Over in the chat, it says George.
with the help of
Yeah.
AI.
Who's
Oh,
George?
do we have we have a George in the club, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
Yeah.
he must be taking some notes because he can't be here. Interesting.
Oh, wow. He's taking them virtually
Yeah, it'll
with
now make
the
it.
AI.
Yeah.
It's a weird world, y'all.
Reading a really scary book about AI right now, so
Yeah.
it's like, ooh.
AI, scary stuff.
Should I kick him out? Get out of here.
Well, guys, we got a small group at least right now at the beginning, but welcome. It's good to see you all again. You recovered from, let's see, Renee, Mary Lynn, and Linda recovered from Santa Fe.
Almost.
Almost.
Santa Fe was fine. It was the flight home we needed to recover from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That didn't go smoothly.
No.
Yeah. We were supposed to get home about 5:30. We got home at 2 a.m.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to sit in the airport and reschedule all my patients for Tuesday because I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Nope.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. How about you, Linda? You had a difficult time too?
not difficult, just long and hot and
Mhm.
tiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were driving, right?
Yeah.
I
She was
did.
driving home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I took 3 days. I took the long way because, well, we have a house in Lake Havasu City. So I went there the first night and spent the night, and then
Nice.
Smart.
yeah,
Smart.
Nice.
it worked, but it was very warm.
Yeah.
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 And this Montana girl, doesn't handle that 115-degree temps very well.
Oh, whoa.
Ouch. Ouch.
Oh,
Yeah.
No.
Riding up through the desert, right?
Yes, yes.
oh.
It's its own kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
We see you. We
Yeah.
don't see you, but
We
know
don't
you're
see
there.
you. Right.
Here, you hold on a bit. I've got to step out for a minute.
So Santa Fe, let's talk about that first. Santa Fe was good. The things that we know is that the traffic was down over previous years, and despite what they reported, the international folk art market marketing team have let us know that their traffic was down as well. So I think that it was especially notable for multiple reasons. One, I think when you get to Sunday, everybody is like in high anticipation. The fact is that we scanned exactly the same number of people in the door on Sunday as we did on Saturday.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
To a person. It's just like, when did they come? And on Sunday, they came early, and then it rained, and nobody came anywhere. Although I would think instead of being outside at IFAM, they would come inside to Art Santa Fe. The other thing that I can tell you is that comparing, and we don't get any verified report of sales other than what you all tell us, as well as I walk the fair and take photos of red dots and talk to exhibitors, and then we have the art removal passes. And the sales were commensurate with last year's sales and the previous year's sales. So there were some nice sales. There were, a lot of, I'll call them middle range, modest sales. And it was very typical in terms of what we normally see. Normally see, 30% of the exhibitors sell very well, um, more than cover their expenses. 30% of the exhibitors sell moderately well, sell one or two pieces, and 30% don't sell. Santa Fe is definitely a market where, and probably because there we can see Shireen. Probably because Santa Fe is a smaller show. It's our boutique fair. You really have to be there. You have to be seen, and it's that comeback person who regularly comes to Art Santa Fe, and the second year, the third year, they buy. And you probably have all heard the story that one of our exhibitors exhibited in 2023. She sold a couple of pieces. She's a very established artist, and was disappointed in 2023. She didn't exhibit last year. And this year she decided she'd try it again. And on the first day, on Friday, one of those people that bought one of those small pieces in 2023 walked in and bought all three pieces on her back wall.
Wow.
Which was an $18,000 sale.
Wow.
So it just, I think, solidifies for me what, what I think and what I continually see is that you have to be there. You have to make an impression. You have to stay in contact with people. And they come back, if for no other reason than to just say hello. And that's good in and of itself, because just saying hello gives you an opportunity to re-engage with them, to make sure you've got the right emails, so, all those kinds of things that we talk about all the time. So Linda, tell us about your experience at Santa Fe. How did it go?
Actually, it went well. I did not sell wall art, but I brought my scarves and sold every one of them. I wish I had brought more because I believe more would have sold. And I think, wall art, even the smaller pieces, has to hit the right person, all of that. And money sometimes is an issue. Scarves are an easy impulse purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And they like the fact that the scarves match the images, that they're, they could see the image.
You bought one? Mary Lynn, did
Kelly
you buy
bought.
one?
What's that?
I think Mary Lynn being pointed out. She
Yes,
bought.
I buy. I am prone to impulse purchasing when it comes to
Scarves.
Scarves. Yes.
Well, you should have talked to me more. You were close.
I told her she could buy one, but she had to get rid of 5.
Yeah, right. There wasn't
Well, we can order. I mean, just so you know. Anyway, but no, I was pleased. I thought the traffic, like you said, was much lower than last year. I thought Saturday was extremely slow. And even though the numbers were the same, Sunday felt busier, which I think is odd.
Yeah.
But no.
Excuse me, Renee and Mary Lynn, how was your experience? What did you think?
We learned a couple of things. One, that you and Eric were right. We need a deeper booth. We didn't have as many. For number one, everybody knew what encaustic was, which was really great. We didn't have to explain anything, but at the same time, people weren't coming in and engaging as much as they were at Miami and New York.
Yeah.
And we
It
were,
was more walking
it was
past.
more walking past. We had a few people stop. We did make a really good contact on Friday with an art consultant in Detroit. We've already followed up with her. We're already on her list of artists. We've already filled out a form and talked about, if she places our art, what the split would be. So that was a good contact. We had several people come back through to make sure they had a card and were contacting with our mailing list. We had several people who said they had the money to buy and were interested in pieces, but were holding on to their money at this point in time. So we thought the same thing as Linda. We thought it was pretty slow on Saturday, but Sunday morning felt
In the
very
morning.
busy.
Yeah. And
After
then
about
it was
3 o'clock,
quiet.
it died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking to Kelly on the way out. One of the things she said was, a lot of people leave Santa Fe by 1 o'clock. So maybe cutting the time earlier is an idea. The other thing we learned was this was the first year they moved IFAM out to the railroad yards.
No, it was the second year.
Second year.
Second year? Okay. Well, the folks in town were not happy. The restaurateurs in town were not happy.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, they moved it out there and we have no business. So I think we lost a lot of foot traffic because two of the waiters told us how slow it had been this weekend for them. I think
Well, that doesn't make any sense because IFAM used to be on Museum Hill, and the only way to get there was on a shuttle bus. And
interesting.
2 years ago, they moved it to the rail yard. The rail yard is actually walking distance
Yeah.
from
Okay.
downtown. You could walk over to the rail yard. You probably wouldn't want to because it's too hot, but you could. It's less than a mile
I did it every day.
to the rail yard from the convention center and even the plaza. So, and people are downtown. There's no other place.
This was just what we heard from a couple of the waiters.
Yeah.
They felt like their business was not as busy that weekend. And I was surprised because when we came in on Friday, when we were walking around on Friday, it seemed busier downtown Friday night. And I thought, oh, okay, great. This will be good for after the show on Friday. We walked around, got dinner, and downtown seemed busy, but he was not happy when we talked to him Sunday night. So I don't know.
Well, I do think that traffic in general was down, that, our advance tickets were off. IFAM's advance tickets were off, although they do timed tickets at IFAM and said that many of their time slots were sold out. So I don't know how that translated entirely for them. But, I think that overall, there is, and you can read it in the business section of the newspaper. People aren't traveling as much.
Right.
People are like the folks that you met who are holding on to their money. They're not going out to eat. We had several exhibitors, by the way, who rented a VRBO or an Airbnb, stayed in a house, didn't stay in a hotel. So we haven't had a recap call with tourism. So I don't know, tourism is always, their whole thing is heads in beds. And what can they do to, so I don't know how do they account for VRBO and Airbnb?
Yeah.
Sure. Tough to do.
It's
At the same time, we had really good, we made contacts. We had a lot of people comment on the work. So, and it's our first full year. So we've just done our first full cycle. It's our first year. And the one things we have to keep reminding ourselves is we're just getting seen. Um,
Yeah.
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 so, and that's important.
You know, I
I
think
did-
the one thing that, and Kelly, chime in here, because I know you and Laura talked to almost everybody as they left the fair. And really people had such a, people have a really great experience with all of you. And I think that that's one of the most important things.
Mhm.
Absolutely. When people were leaving the fair, of course, we always, thank them for being there and how did you like the fair? We did not hear not one person say, we've had complaints before about a fair, maybe from somebody that comes in and it wasn't what they were expecting, but every single person said, wow, what a beautiful fair. They loved the diversity of all the artwork. They just thought it was spectacular. So,
You know, and I think that having the experience and meeting all of you, yeah, they love the artwork, but I
Mhm.
think that really meeting the artist is one of the things that kind of makes the experience memorable. Um, you can go to a museum and see a lot of artwork.
mhm.
But really being able to talk to the artist and meet the artist is what makes it personal.
And
And
that
that's what
feeds
we,
the artist too.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does.
Well, and I think it confirms, right? It's
Mhm.
confirming.
Yes. Yes.
It's validating
Yes.
that that what you're doing um, is worth
It
it,
works.
and,
Yes.
and that it works, and that it makes an impression, and that people enjoy it.
Mhm.
And so I think that all of that is important. The other thing that I think about Santa Fe, comparing it to New York or Miami, is you have to think about what is the population of
Mhm.
Santa Fe. Population of Santa Fe is only, I think, 88 or 90,000 people. Okay. Compared to Miami, compared to New York, Manhattan, where you're talking about millions of people.
Mhm.
So, it's definite, Santa Fe,
Because
I love Santa
people
Fe.
coming in from out of town, for
Yeah.
one thing. I know my brother buys a lot of art, and one of the things he said the last couple of years, and he goes to Santa Fe every year, partially for the opera, but also to buy art. And he has told me the last couple of years he's doing what everybody else is doing.
Holding onto the cash.
He said he wasn't even going this year because he didn't want to look because he knew he wasn't going to buy. And I think that, I mean, when he told us that, we're like, okay, that way we have a sense of
Where we're at.
where we're at. But I still think it's just important to be seen. You still have to be seen.
Mhm.
Yeah. 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 Being seen and being out there. It's it's called making, it's making an impression. And impressions, when you're advertising, when you're on the internet, do your social media, your website, all of those in terms of marketing are measured, the effectiveness of it is measured in impressions. And
Mhm.
certainly when you're there in person, you're creating impressions. Every single person that walked in, and they don't just walk in to one spot and then walk out. They walk in, they do the whole thing. So every single person you have an opportunity to make an impression on, pass out a card, say hello, all those kinds of things, and talk about your work. And every time, Linda, someone puts on one of those scarves,
Mhm.
they're going to think about, the artwork. Um,
Hopefully.
or maybe they'll think about, I wish I had another one of these scarves.
Exactly. Yes. Something. It's a reminder of where
Yeah,
they were and what they saw. And
absolutely.
yes. And I just wanted to say really good response with my booth. I mean, I had really good interaction with a lot of people. It just didn't work out for them to buy, but really good interaction, which is, like you said, it's validating to me. And it leaves such an impression with them that, they wear the scarf, they might want the artwork. And I noticed that with my booth neighbors too, the good interaction with the public and coming in and looking at their art. So I think as far as appreciating the art and liking to see what was there, it was good. It's just the numbers were down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's reality,
Right.
that's kind of where we are and what's happening. So I think that it's important to, okay, past Santa Fe, what else are you all doing? Shireen, I think you were doing some things this summer in terms of exhibiting and kind of getting out there.
Yeah, we were. So we had when we spoke last, we had just finished up the Dallas show that we did.
Right.
And that was a good show for us. And we had met a lady who knew Eric's artwork from previous exposures, who had stopped in. We had a nice visit. And we've been communicating with her. She's up in Dallas. And we were looking for a gallery in that area. So we earlier, right at the same time as Santa Fe, went up to Oklahoma City to the Porsche parade. And, one thing when you're looking at places to sell art, there's gorgeous fine art shows like Redwood does, but there's also places where you might find your client, that are going somewhere else that may, not necessarily be like the typical art fair, but we sponsored the Porsche parade, and as part of that had exposure to all the VIPs. We were at VIP tables for all the banquets. We were an official sponsor and put out in that, and we had a booth in the hospitality area, and we're able to set Eric's art up there. And we sold a few pieces on the wall. Actually, what we ended up selling mostly was commissions, because with Porsche, he does a lot of, his abstracts, but he does a lot of, he loves Porsches, and we've participated in Porsche events before. So it was fun, and it allowed us to sell his artwork to other Porsche fanatics, and sold a bunch of commissions up there that, they take photos of their car and then he does a custom piece for them. So it's sometimes there's other places to go other than a traditional art fair, where people that love your photographs or love your work, I've spoken before about benefits and things like that, donating pieces, it just gets you, or even local, like the lady that, so anyhow, on our way back down, we stopped in Dallas and set up a new gallery up there. Eric's making some pieces for her right now. And she actually knew him originally from pieces that he put into just the local art community center. She had been exposed to his artwork a couple times that way. So it's like you were saying, Linda, the touches. When we finally met her in person, and she has this gorgeous gallery right in all the beautiful high-end home area in North Dallas, she knew his art already, even though we didn't know her, and we were finally able to make a connection. So what Linda's saying is correct. You never know those pieces that you entered and never sold at the local art place or wherever it is, and then finally you make this connection, and they like you, you like them. So anyhow, that's what we've been up to. He's working on some different commissions and things like that through the fall, and just finishing up some other pieces, and then we'll be out to Miami in December. Super excited about that.
It's great. That's great. And you've heard me say it before, it's that pebble in the pool of water, and those ripples that go out and out and out. You don't know where those ripples are going to land. And I just think tuning into that. And I had forgotten, Shireen, that you were doing the Porsche event, but I remember seeing on on your website, not at your website, on your social media, some posts about being a sponsor and going there. And I think that finding those niches where you fit is absolutely another critical piece of the puzzle.
It is. And one thing, Eric and I were actually speaking this morning, and you know, we were talking about Instagram and things like that. And it's like all the work that you do on Instagram, for example. Have I sold a piece or him sold a piece directly from Instagram? No. But when you meet that gallery and you're trying to show them, or a consumer, you know, we can say, look at the website, look at Instagram, and they see a piece from 4 years ago that he did, and say, hey, I want something like that, you know, or they see the wealth of work that you do and the fact that you've been doing it as a committed artist for that long, you know, it just, all of that work, you don't know how or why, but, you know, suddenly you have a portfolio because of all the things, you know, sometimes we look back and he goes, oh my gosh, I've made so much art, you know, and you forget about those pieces that you sold at this show or somebody walked into the studio or however that is. But I hope everyone was safe from that rain in Santa Fe. That was, you know, we in Texas, we were far away from that, but we're just reeling from all of that. And then we heard about the Rio Doso area. So, boy.
Yeah, it was
Here.
fairly far from us. There were some of the team, some of the operations team had relatives in that area. But yeah, it was, you know, and in Santa Fe, there was some rain, but there wasn't anything at all like what happened up there. And that was really just a kind of a tragedy of mistakes to make that whole thing happen. So what else is going on? I know it's summer, but in summer there's a lot of festivals, local studio walks, that kind of thing. Is anybody participating in anything like that? Maybe not.
Not in studio walks, but our gallery, of course, is open all year round. So I, you know, participate in the gallery events and that sort of thing. I don't have another show coming up until March.
Okay. All right, good. Sophie, how about you? What's going on?
I just moved, so I'm exhausted from moving. It was a big move, but I moved into a nice place and I have a very big studio now. So I'm not set up yet, but I can't wait to be set up. I did studio tours last week. We had one in our area. I did studio tours. I wanted to see what the artists were doing and the quality of art, because I'm moved to a new area and I wanted to see the quality of art, and I wanted to get some ideas for studios and see if it was worth it for me to do it next year, to participate in that next year. And my conclusion is I'm not going to participate in that next year. Unfortunately, I find some artists were not of great quality, unfortunately, and they were juried in, so I'm pretty surprised at that. But it was refreshing, and it was nice to talk to people, to other artists and stuff like that. I participated recently in a lot of contests, art contests online and stuff like that. I was finalist in different contests. I get very high and rave reviews from the jury usually, but I for some reason my art is a mix of figurative and art and abstract, and it doesn't fit anywhere. So I don't get in, I don't win the abstract contest, and I don't win the figurative contest. So, but I get so many like amazing compliments from the jurors. It's unbelievable. Maybe I'll win something someday. And and I kept sending my profile and my portfolio to galleries before I moved. I have to get back on that now with that I'm settling in. And as I told you the last time, I'm going for a art retreat in Italy in September. That's all. That's all for
And,
now.
and what's happening in Italy?
It's an art retreat with Michael Carson, is a American artist, and it's a week art retreat in Tuscany.
So that sounds fun. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's all go. We'll just show up there with you.
Okay, that would be fun.
Well, and I think that those kinds of things are also very broadening. It exposes you to another way of thinking about your art. Possibly it exposes you to other artists. And I do think that one of the things that's important about, this artist club, important about going to fairs and festivals and just going, even like you did, Sophie, going, for the studio tour and meeting other artists. That's important. And kind of creating your community network as well as your overarching artist network, people that are like-minded, people that you can reach out to. What do you think about this? How about that? People who have a different set of experiences than you do are always great folks to tap into and learn from. Paula, what about you? What's happening on your scene this summer?
So in the summer itself, I'm just preparing. I'm going to participate in September in the other art fair in LA. I was hoping to do San Diego, but I heard that it's not happening. So I changed it for the one in LA. It'll be my third time. I had a very good experience the first one. I got a middle range the second one, so I'm going for the third time to make a decision if I should keep coming. And then I have an exhibition scheduled in a gallery in Los Gatos in Northern California for November and December. And so since my work, so each piece takes a lot of time to do, so I never had a huge body of work. So preparing for just those things just keeps my summer busy. So I'm just working and working.
That's great. Good. Well, and my thing, there's the rule of three. So we'll be interested to hear what happens your third time around doing that fair. One of my very best examples is Tata Fernandez and Contemporary Art Projects. This was her 14th year at Art Santa Fe. And so she's been doing Art Santa Fe before Redwood owned Art Santa Fe. And she's got, a regular group of clients that come, some of them great distances. There's one gentleman from Texas, except that, and he came to Art Santa Fe, met her years ago, and he's got, at that time, I guess he had 2 homes. And so he's bought art from her, but he walks the fair, he buys art from others. Well, because he kept coming to Santa Fe to see her, this past year, they built a home in Santa Fe. So now he's got, I don't know, 3 or 4 homes. And he was there. He's unmistakable. He's a very tall, I don't think this time he had on the big, Texas 10-gallon hat. But he's very tall, black man. And the first time I met him, he had this great big white 10-gallon hat. But he is someone who she's developed this relationship with, and he came in and bought a piece of art this time too. And I don't know if he bought art elsewhere, in the show, but yeah, it's creating networking, creating those relationships. And like Shireen said, you don't know where the connections are going to happen. So I want to go back just for a couple of minutes and talk about we talked last time about limited editions. We sent out the video from last time, and I'm wondering, has anybody thought about that more, created limited editions? One of the things I was thinking about when Linda was talking about scarves and the price point, the thing that I saw at Art Santa Fe was a lot people that had prints available in a nice print rack. Even some of those prints framed beautifully and hung on the sidewall of a booth. So limited edition or open edition strategies has anybody thought more about that, or developed something more about that for themselves?
Well, I've done my photography in limited edition for years. I've modified how I create my editions. When I started with a size, and there would be, like if it was a 12 by 18 or something like that, it would be an edition of 20 or 25. Twice the size would be an edition of 5. Smaller, it usually wouldn't be smaller. It got too bulky, too complicated. So what I've done in the last couple of years is just edition the image. So I will do 20 or 25 pieces of an image, and it can be in a couple of different sizes, not random sizes, but kind of establish my sizes. But of 20 pieces of that edition or 25 pieces of that image. And that seems to work better. What I did take away from the last meeting was Eric said we should have something on the back of the piece saying what it is, what the edition is, and all of that. And I have my limited edition documentation, but it's usually separate from the piece. So I did start making a little sticker. I don't know if you can see this, but like this, that it's a 3x5 sticker, and it has the basic information on it. I sign it, and it gets placed permanently on the back of that piece. So that is one thing I've changed. And that's in addition to the full documentation with description, the bill of sale, and all of that. So maybe it's overkill, but this stays with the piece and it can't accidentally get taken off the piece.
Well, and one of the other ways to do that is you can do it right on the front of the piece, the print, and it's just, if the edition is 20, so it's number 3/20, and then your signature.
I do that too.
So, you'll see that on pieces. You could, if you could see it, you'd see it on this print that's right here behind me.
Right. And my paperwork, I do that too. I mean, they're always signed in the margin.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remembered this morning, you can tell that I was so focused on Santa Fe, that I promised that I would provide a template for a limited edition certificate. And I will do that, and we will send it to you in the follow-up email when we send out the video of this webinar. Anybody else with a a revised or a new limited edition strategy? Okay. All right, so I do have a question for you all. When we send out the webinar videos, are those valuable? Do you watch them again? Is Sharina's like, no.
I
Thank you
mean,
for
for
your
those of us
honesty.
that can't actually make it a lot of the time, they're super helpful. Like on my end, I work during the day, usually on the Wednesdays we have them. So being able to watch them after the fact, since I miss them almost all the time and just happen to be remote today and able to listen in, I love that you send them out.
Okay, good, good.
I agree. The days I can't be here, which are going to be few and far between now, it really, Mary Lynn will say, hey, you really need to watch this. They gave a lot of important information about X, Y, or Z. And so it really is helpful if you can't make it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I just was checking in terms of, you know, there's kind of this core group. You're looking at them. And you know, we're all usually here. And there's a couple of people that sent me an email when I sent out the reminder this morning, said I won't make it. But you know, I'll be looking at the video. So it made me wonder, you know, should we keep doing that? So yeah, we'll keep doing that. And I'll remember to send you a template. I wrote myself a note here. For what a limited edition certificate of authenticity looks like. Hey, Eric, hello. Good to see you.
And he's,
Hang on. Okay, now you can talk. You gotta
I
come.
know he's there. No, he's not.
There he is.
There's the hologram.
Yeah.
I just
He's
I
really
just got out of my studio. It's so hot here in Texas. And after about the second hour, I feel like I'm in like an Indian sweat lodge.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It's just like I start hallucinating. My art's getting better. I think like I'm on ayahuasca or something. It's like so hot here. It's good to see you guys.
she's got the background.
I know.
He's part of the fading background, Shireen.
What was that?
He's part of the fading background.
Yeah. It's weird. I had to get behind him to bring him forward. So
That's funny. Okay, you guys. I think that you know, for August, I think what we want to do is think about what you're going to be doing for the important fourth quarter. Some of you will be, you know, I know that Shireen and Eric will be in Miami for Spectrum. Renee and Mary Lynn will be there. But, you know, the fourth quarter is the biggest art selling season of the year. So what are we doing? Let's all think about that and how we're going to maximize that. And, you know, how does social media fit into that? And, yeah. And looking towards that, then creating the budget that allows you to really maximize the opportunity during that fourth quarter. All right. Yes.
Can I have a quick question? So I've always done fairs in places where I could drive, and I drove and took my pieces with me. And I'm starting to think about next year maybe doing New York. So I want to start like searching how it would look like to ship all my pieces. Everything is framed. So is there a place where I could like search some companies or talk with someone that could guide me? I like really don't know where to start to understand how it works.
We have two shippers, one international, one national, that we work with that are really excellent, that can give you some good advice. We, you know, and a number of of our exhibitors also use something that is as ordinary as UPS or FedEx. You know, it's just important that whenever you're shipping your artwork, that you have it properly boxed or crated.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you're doing our fairs, once you get it to whatever the first fair is, we
Mhm.
have the free freight program. As long as your art is properly crated, we will take it for free to the next fair that you're doing with us.
Yeah. Yeah, because I did ship like one piece, two pieces to someone who bought a piece, but like shipping the whole thing for a whole booth, it's something that I'm not sure how to do. But yeah. And can I write you an email so that you can send me that company that you work with?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
And Paula,
Yes.
we learned a lot about crates in the last year,
Uh-huh.
who to buy them from and who not to buy them from, and how to build your own. If you have any
Oh.
questions, where do you live?
In San Francisco.
Okay, if you have any questions, we're on Instagram, MCP2Art. Just get a hold of us.
Yes. Let me write.
Yeah.
Or
Thank you very much.
I know everything I'm about to build our second crate.
Yeah, Rennie built our first crate a couple months back.
And it did great. And I'm
Yeah.
about to build the second one for Miami. So if you
Excellent.
just MCP and the number 2 art@gmail.com, I will walk you through, because there are certain people you do not want to buy a crate from.
Okay. Thank you.
Our script was bad. We had a very almost bad experience. So I built my own, and I can walk you through that or tell you how to get somebody to do that for you.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Shireen.
And Linda, I'm glad you're talking about the fourth quarter, because one of the things that we did when we came home from New York was we made a catalog of our then works, of the biggest works. And I gave away one in Santa Fe. We've done nothing with them. And one of the things we realized we need to do is start getting to people in Minneapolis, because nobody knows who we are.
Yeah.
Designers and things like that.
Designers,
Yeah.
galleries,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shireen, you had something to offer.
I was gonna say, maybe that might be a fun topic one month if we all shared kind of some of our shipping and logistics ideas, and also our promotional ideas, because I think everybody here is really creative, and like Linda with her scarves and Rennie with her crates, and you know, we all have different types of art and different ways and things that we need, but there's a lot of overlap there. I'm sure would be a fun way to source some information.
Let's make a plan for that for next time. I like that, because I think that fits right into what I said, we need to think about is the fourth quarter. So how do you plan for those things?
I think that's a very valuable thing to talk about.
To Paula's point, planning beyond that. What do I need to do if I'm gonna go to New York? If I'm gonna go cross country.
Well, and sometimes you might plan your art around crates that you can get from Uline that are inexpensive. Like Eric's pieces, he works on 48s, and now we kind of go down to 46 because a pallet's 48 inches. So depending on what you're doing, there's different ways to think.
Oh yes.
And just be aware,
even before you start it.
Those Uline crates are great for about 3 shows.
Yeah.
And then they're not. Ours came home complete, almost out of the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, when we saw it, we were just like, oh my God.
How did it make it home?
Yeah, that's why I'm building them. But I'm good that way. So
okay, you guys. Well, have a great rest of the week, and we'll be talking soon. Let us know if you need anything, if you got any questions. We're always here to help.
Kelly, how's Eric's hip?
I was a little late. He had physical therapy. They came to the house this morning.
Good.
All of the pain meds have worn off from the surgery, so I will just say that.
We're sorry.
But he needs to stay ahead of the pain. I keep telling him, but so he's doing good.
Do they have him on the ibuprofen, acetaminophen
they have him on hydrocodone plus acetaminophen, and then they said that he can also take acetaminophen in between.
Which he should be
the-
doing.
Yes. But sometimes they have a mind of their own and think that, so. But no, thank you for asking. He's doing good. I think the first couple of days he was home, he still had a lot of anesthesia and the pain shot that they gave him. And he was thinking, wow, this is pretty not so bad, pretty easy. And then I said, well, just remember, all of that stuff is going to wear off. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But
He'll get through it.
yeah, he's doing his
Yeah.
exercises. He's getting up. He's, doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. And they said that, based on what the nurse and the physical therapist that came said he's way ahead of a lot of people, because a lot of people, when they're in pain, they don't want to do anything. But Eric is doing everything he's supposed to.
Good.
So.
I had a conversation with him this morning and gave him instructions.
Oh, good. Because sometimes it's easier when it comes from someone other than your wife.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mama Mariano gave him,
Good.
what you're supposed to be doing.
And Linda Roberts, I hope your husband hope all is well.
It all went well. The surgery was this morning. He's home on the couch.
Okay.
Everything looked good.
Awesome.
We're in that same stage.
Good.
Not quite same,
We can
but
commiserate together. How's that?
can't we?
Call me anytime.
All right, you guys. See you later.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.